I'm so excited to be here today, and I'd just like to take a minute to thank the Uncharted admin team for putting these mic drop sessions together. I think that it's such a great idea, and I'm truly humbled to be speaking in front of all of you. How did everyone's sessions go? Mine were fabulous, and my mind is completely racing with all the things I need to go back and do. But what I'm here to talk to you about today is a problem that I'm seeing, and I'm hoping that the Hive Mind can help with that. I am very active in the veterinary community. I'm part of at least a dozen veterinary Facebook groups where I participate in the conversation regularly. I am I'm president of my local manager group in Houston, and I'm also part of the VHMA Member Connect community, which is kind of like the veterinary the Facebook groups that I'm part of. And the problems I've seen vary, and they include several different things that I've kind of drilled down to. The first is one that we kind of touched on this morning with how some veterinarians are not great business owners. How there seems to be a complacency in running our businesses where there's just this persistent desire to not want to change. And I mean, how many of you have heard it's because we've always done it that way? And that's something that if I hear one more time, I might just lose it because it's the worst answer that anyone could ever give me. And then there is our managers who aren't being allowed to manage the hospital for no reason other than ego. And then another problem I've identified is how our support staff, our employees, are treated. A simple thing that we talked about this morning is appreciation. And I feel like it's almost looked at as an afterthought and not something that we should be really focusing on. And things like kindness and empathy are just glazed over instead of being foundational principles that we run our business on. And then there's cultural problems that are blamed on a certain generational gap called millennials, with their Twittering and their Snapchatting, just being part of the problems that we're seeing, instead of really having these deep conversations about what's really going on. And I know that venting is healthy, and it's a part of who we are just as people. And I recognize that it has its place. I just feel like the conversation now is more problem-based than solution-based. Another problem I've identified is that it seems like as professionals, we're set up to fail before we even start. We all get into this profession because we love animals, and we tend to relate to them far more than we do people, which means that when we need help, as we just heard, we don't reach out like we should. And let's face it, we've suffered some really heartbreaking losses in our community. And it's no surprise with how easy it is for anyone to get online and post exactly what they're thinking instantaneously. Good or bad, right or wrong, it's out there. Excuse me. And all of that is the perfect recipe for compassion fatigue and burnout. I've suffered my own journey with compassion fatigue, and it was several years ago. I was plagued by thoughts of self-doubt, and I was really suffering. And just this little terrorist was in my brain trying to tell me that, I don't know if I need to be in this role. I don't know if I need to do this job. Am I a good manager? And the only bright spot that I had in veterinary medicine at that time was my local manager group. At that time, we were small. We met infrequently, and we communicated via Yahoo Group's message board. And if anyone's used that, it's terrible and super disorganized. And it was kind of the perfect storm of events where I was going through my thing, and it seemed like the community was kind of matching that. And we had somebody come and talk to the manager group about compassion fatigue as it related to leaders. And it was just eye-opening to see everyone in this audience and how much they were suffering as they kind of gave their input and opened up. And so a little group of us decided that we needed to make our manager group more official. So we started a board and we made an association. I don't put it in quotes for any other reason. It's official, it's an association. We're legit, I promise, no. And we made an association, and now we're 89 strong and growing pretty much every month. We have regional CE, race-approved CE meetings monthly. We have 2 biannual race-approved meetings that are kind of the bigger ones. And I'm one of 4 CVPMs that have been credentialed in the last three years, and then we've got 11 that are on that track, seriously considering that track, which I attribute to our study groups that we have for CVPM. And this manager group it's just been so interesting to watch from kind of a bird's eye view how much it's benefited our community. We're this little ecosystem of positivity, and we support each other, and I know I can call somebody if I need a question, or if I have a question or I need help with something. And the way I feel about my manager group is probably second only to this Uncharted group. That's how significant it is. And I know that I don't have to sell anyone on the benefits of this Uncharted group. I mean, just the 24 hours that I've been in contact with everyone, I've met so many amazing new people that I didn't know before. And this is where it gets really exciting. I wish that I had some props so I could pull out this giant mirror and point it at the audience and wait for your collective gasp as you realize where I'm going with this. So my wonderful, inspiring, humbling, and GIF-loving friends, I have a challenge for you. I want you to start your own manager group, or join your local VMA, or be on the board for your vet tech school, or hell, grab your bestie vet med person, get a booth at a local pet-related event, and spread your message. It doesn't have to be hard. But what am I talking about? I'm not saying go and pay your dues and show up, check the box. I'm saying challenge the status quo. Not to quote Apple or anything that we learned. I need you to have some of these difficult conversations that we have in our community all the time, in our Uncharted community all the time. I need you to reach out to that person that you may think needs an extra hand and find out more about them, try to help. I need you to do this because I know that you can. I know that we can make a difference. All of these pesky problems that I referred to, I believe that the solution is in this room. And I want to help. So if you need help setting up that manager group, if you need help bouncing ideas and being a sounding board off of, reach out to me. You can reach me on Facebook, you can reach me on Instagram, @thecarolhurst. Very pretentious, I know, but Carol Hurst was taken. But seriously, guys, I want to help, and I truly believe that we can make the difference. Because look at us, we're awesome. Thank you.